Hi folk, my name is the Goblin, and today we're going to be talking about whether Legion saved World of Warcraft or not. In this video this is going to be a criticism of the expansion, but obviously I can acknowledge that there's a lot of great things about the expansion. Say for instance the raiding's really on point, the classes are a lot of fun, they're releasing content very fast now, and there's a lot of good things. But in this video we're essentially going to be talking about why the population has not increased. In fact, why the population has probably got worse since Warlords of Draenor. So, I mean, if you look at this realm list, you will see very few high populated servers. No servers are going to be locked or anything like that. And the majority, there's a huge list now of low populated servers. Obviously, we cannot just say, right, this is how many people are subscribed to the game, because that is something that it hasn't been officially released. But put it this way, there's a lot of unpopular MMOs out there who do not release their subscription counts because they're not popular. And World of Warcraft isn't really a popular game anymore. I mean, if you look, there are basically too many realms for the population of the game. Right? This happened with Star Wars: The Old Republic. They got a massive population drop when everyone realised, whoa, I'm level 50 and there's nothing to do. And essentially they gave away free transfers, and everyone transferred to these, I think it's 10 servers, so that the population of those servers could be stable, because there's literally too many realms for the population of the game, and that's essentially what's happened now to the population of this game. So, when Legion launched, I was on Draenor, a very populated server, very high populated server. It's one of the highest populated servers still. And I had absolutely no server queue, right? Following the Legion's release date. Fair enough, the server capacity is bigger since it's increased. But back in MoP, when MoP was released, actually my parents went on holiday without me, and I had to stay with my auntie because I don't get on with my stepdad. But anyway, I was staying up with my auntie, and I'd get home from school at about 3:15. My auntie lived fairly close to the school, which is very lucky. I live in the country, so we had to walk a couple of miles to actually get to school. So I was lucky, and I'd get home at 3:20, and I'd be in a queue for 3 hours, right, before I could actually get into the game to start leveling my Death Knight. And when Legion launched, there was none of that. Absolutely none of that. I mean, even in the evening on most days during MoP, I was playing on Outland, very high populated server. If you look at it now, oh my god, it is not. Which represents that how many, because it's a very heavily PvP populated server, it represents how many PvP players have quit. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Yeah, and in the evening, I'd be in a queue for probably about half an hour. Every time I got home from school. Well, I'd get home from school, but if I did something else before I got home from school, after, and I tried to log in at 5 o'clock, it'd be yeah, you're not getting in for half an hour. Sometimes I would miss my RPG groups because I just couldn't get into the server. We had a lot of problems like that, but there's no problems like that right now. I mean, if you think about it, guys, we it's only a few months in. We're about 3 months into Legion. This is as populated as Legion is going to get. It is not going to get any more higher populated than this. This is just very close to the launch of the server, launch of the game, the expansion, and just after the launch of an expansion, that's where the expansion is the most popular, right? That's where the population numbers are the highest. It's only going to get lower, right? I mean, do you think the thing that's really funny about this is that they released a film? They released a film which everyone thought, oh, everyone's going to start playing it now. They released a film, but the thing is, well, let's start talking about why is the game, why isn't the population increasing? And I think a very simple fact is no new players are playing World of Warcraft. New people are not coming to World of Warcraft at all. There might be, but they're probably not, right? And that's because it's not a very accessible game. It's accessible, but it's just phenomenally, sorry, I can't say that word, incredibly significantly, it's simply just not fun when you level up. The leveling process is a complete spoon-fed bore. All you do is jump into dungeons and you kill mobs for about 3 days playtime. So like, what, 70 hours? 60 hours? Yeah, about just over 70 hours. All you do is kill mobs to get to level 110 now, isn't it? So I don't think it's a very accessible game. I cannot understand how anyone, a new player, would play World of Warcraft, start playing it and enjoy it, because there's no adventure, there's no world exploration really because of a dungeon finder. The leveling process has just been completely ruined. The game was most popular in Wrath of the Lich King, right? There's a reason for that, and that's because, well, because you still had everything, all the good parts of the original game, the vanilla game, and all the good points of the retail game. It was like the best of both worlds. And when they released the Dungeon Finder, well, the population went down, and there's, everyone thought it was like a really cool thing. It's like, oh, it's such a really awesome thing. Like, now I don't have to walk to dungeons. And then people just, I don't think really people fully kind of contemplated it, how bad it really was for the game, because you just, it's no longer the World of Warcraft. When you put the Dungeon Finder in, it's now matchmaking World of Warcraft. It's like there's no difference between World of Warcraft now than like queuing for Team Deathmatch on Halo, whichever one's out these days, or Team Deathmatch on Call of Duty, a game which whoever one is out these days. I haven't played those games for a while. And yeah, what else? What other points have I got here? Okay, so a lot of things, endgame. Like, raiding was awesome, releasing a lot of great content, and it's just a complete shame, because I think one of the really bad things is just the way legendaries work. There's no such thing as a legendary anymore, really. But the world quests, you felt forced to do the world quests every single day, and you probably will for the rest of the expansion. Like, farming daily quests, which are basically world quests, let's be honest, back in the day, you did it for money, saving up for your mount. You did it for some rep for a little bit, well, not a little bit, but you do it until you got exalted reputation with a faction, so you could buy their mounts, or you could buy something else interesting. But now it's like, you have to do this every single day, every week, for the rest of the expansion, and it's terrible. The game is it's just a medieval farm simulator, right? I mean, I keep telling people, I'm a gamer, not a farmer. If I wanted to be a farmer, I'd go play Stardew Valley. At least that game would be more fun, If I want a farm simulator, I'll go and play a game like that, because it's a better one. Like, I was in a raiding guild. I was in a very serious raiding guild, probably top 100 on the server, and it was a very populated server, and yeah, we were quite serious raiding guild, and I was being told, like, you need to go and do this world quest, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to do them. They're boring. I'm not going to play a game in a boring way. I'm going to play a game in a fun way. So what I'll do is I'll log in when it's raid night, but that's the only time I'm actually ever going to log in. And I was getting prosecuted by my guild because I had no money to pay for anything, because I wasn't going out farming gold and, stuff like that. Another thing is, the game still has Warlords of Draenor bullshit, like the class order hole missions. I mean, fair enough, not that bad, but it's still there. What class order hole missions? What? Just go away. You're drunk. Go home. You're terrible. And I think our last point I have on here is everything is just too spoon-fed. I think I've already highlighted that. The raid finder and stuff like that. I mean, yeah, these days you just have to click a button to go into a raid. Back in the day, you had to go out on an adventure, collect reagents to craft a amulet that would disguise you as a black dragonfly monster kind of mutant thing, so you can go and talk to the black dragonfly and convince them to give you an attunement to Onyxia's lair. I mean, how awesome does that sound? That sounds like Lord of the Rings. You know what I mean? But in retail, all you do is click a button on your taskbar. Well, what's that? That's Call of Duty. God Christ, my monitor keeps going off. But to be honest, I've actually finished all my points on this notepad file. So, yeah, I mean, let's keep talking to this. Oh, we just hit 10 minutes. I need to stop talking now. No, I'm just joking. That's just how YouTube works these days. But, yeah, I think I've pretty much covered all my points. I don't think Legion saved World of Warcraft at all. I think it's a real shame, because there's a lot of great raiding content out there. The class redesigns are really good. The PvP ability segregation is absolutely amazing. I was so impressed when they decided to introduce that. The PvP is so balanced now. Well, at least, well, I don't know. To be honest, I don't play PvP, so I'm guessing it's balanced. I'm guessing it's not so ridiculous. And, you know, we were talking about Outland before, and how that was a very high populated server. 90% of the people on there did PvP. You wouldn't find raid guilds on there. Now you do find raid guilds on there, because all the PvP people have quit. And, well, you haven't quit, but like, the PvP people are thinking, right, you know, PvP is boring now, so I'm just like, well, let's do some raiding instead. Because the raiding is the only thing that's really worthwhile doing. And I think, well, during Warlords of Draenor, you saw a lot of PvP YouTubers quit. You're seeing them quit all over again, like me. You're seeing a lot of people quit all over again. I think everyone just thought, oh, I just really want to play Legion because raids look cool, and then realizing, actually, no, it's just still the same shit. But yeah, I think there was an extreme drought of PvP content in Warlords of Draenor, you know, midway, and loads of PvP people were quitting, you know, because we got bored of arenas and RPGs. We got bored of the same setups, and we wanted something new. We wanted some new, fresh PvP content. There is a little, what do they add in Legion? I think pretty sure they added a kind of like a world PvP area, free for all. Oh yeah, the free for all area via Dalaran sewers. You see, they actually are releasing very interesting PvP content, but nobody's playing the game anymore. So it's just like, it's too late. Everyone's moved over to Nestarius, so yeah, it's just too late. It's a shame, because I think the game is actually improving in ways, but it still has the same crap, and that's the problem. And the way you get PvP gear, the way PvP gear works isn't that bad, but the way you get it is horrendous, because now PvE gear is better. I don't think PvE gear should be better, but I think if you're a raider and you think, well, I want to do some PvP today, and you could easily jump into a battleground and still compete, I think that's a good thing. But when the PvE gear is better than the PvP gear, that makes absolutely no sense. So yeah, there's a lot of good things going on, but there's still some really bad problems happening. Anyway, I'm going to end the video there. My name is the Metagoblin. Until my next video, ciao.